We have breaking news, as it was reported earlier today that Luka Doncic will be out with a right wrist sprain that he suffered during the New Orleans Pelicans game in the first quarter. And although it does sound pretty bad, Luka Doncic has been off to a pretty rocky start, but it feels like he started to get it together in the last few games, but it isn't that bad. So in this video, we're going to take a look at all the information surrounding Luka Doncic's injury, what does the timetable look like for his return, as well as how can the Dallas Mavericks manage without Luka Doncic. How's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 14,721 subscribers, which I appreciate greatly, getting very close to that goal of 15,000 subs. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, the live vids, the watch-alongs, the giveaways, the news vids, everything in between, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But like I said in the intro, it was reported earlier today that Luka Doncic had suffered a right wrist sprain. It was during the first quarter of the New Orleans Pelicans game. And in the description, you can see a link to a video that shows you exactly when Luka Doncic felt that wrist. He was signaling to the bench that he wasn't too sure about it. But as we all saw, he kept playing. And a lot of people are thinking maybe that's why he was being a little bit more passive. Maybe the team ball really came from him just not feeling too well with that right wrist. Maybe he didn't want to take too many shots. But I think Luka Doncic has definitely turned it around. I think he's starting to learn how to play more well within the team. But with this injury, knowing he's going to have to miss significant time, that's just going to delay our improvement as a team even further. But even though Luka Doncic will miss time, I truly believe that the Dallas Mavericks are in a pretty good spot. But if we take a look at the information that we got right here, it was reported that Luka Doncic will miss some time due to a wrist injury. When speaking to the media, he wore a wrap on his wrist. Doncic said, "I don't know, honestly. I started feeling the first quarter, but then it just got worse, but nothing serious." And that was right after that Pelicans game. He had that wrap on his wrist, and people were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And Luka said it's nothing serious. But now we're finding out that he has to miss games. But on the bright side, it's not like he has to get surgery. It's not like he's going to be gone for an extended period of time like Dante Exum. It's going to be about 1 to 3 weeks where he'll be reevaluated in that first week. And in that week, we're only going to have about 4 or 5 games. So how well can the Dallas Mavericks actually do? Well, we know that we have that big game tomorrow against the Denver Nuggets, trying to get our revenge after we lost last week. And without Luka Doncic, I'm not saying it's impossible. I just think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. If we take a look right here, the games that we do have before Luka will be reevaluated, we play the Denver Nuggets, the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks, and the New York Knicks. And in my personal opinion, I think at worst we go 3-2. I'm sorry, we go 2-2 at worst in the next 4 games. At best, I think we can go 3-1, and it all just really depends. With certain sprains, you're never too sure how serious it is. Right when you diagnose it, are you going to miss significant time? How does your recovery look like? Everybody's body is different. And with Luka Doncic, we know that he never really misses significant time. The least amount of games he's ever played in a season was his second year, where he only played 66 games, which is still a lot compared to many other stars in the league who do have to miss significant time due to injuries. I mean, Kyrie's had to do it. Klay Thompson's done it. Even Joel Embiid has had to miss significant time due to injuries. But Luka Doncic, as we all know, is a sicko when it comes to basketball. As long as he can run, as long as he can catch and shoot, he is going to play basketball. We saw him play throughout the entire playoffs injured. We saw him play in the Olympic qualifier injured. We saw him play in the beginning of the season still injured. So many people believe, and I can see where they're coming from, that they think this is somewhat of a blessing in disguise, where it's forcing Luka to take some time off. That maybe your wrist isn't that bad, but it's an excuse to get some much needed rest because of your knee. And I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist here. I truly believe that it is his wrist. I'm going to believe all the reports until I know otherwise. I believe the reports that he does have a wrist injury. He's going to rest for it. There's no reason to force him back too soon. The team needs Luka at 100%, and if he forces himself to play and he's not 100%, you're not going to be much use to us. But someone very close to the situation let me know that it isn't as bad as many people believe. They truly believe that Luka Doncic will be back in as short as 4 to 5 games, whereas many other people, when they do suffer a wrist sprain, it's typically 1 to 3 weeks. So on the bright side, Luka will be back in a shorter amount of time than what most people believe. The downside is that we do have that big game tomorrow against the Denver Nuggets. We won't have Luka Doncic. Kyrie Irving and the rest of the guys will definitely do their job, and they'll do what they need to do. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just think it's going to be pretty tough. And if we just continue to look here, oh, I'm all over the place. Daniel Gafford being one of the players that understands that things are going to be okay with the Dallas Mavericks. Daniel Gafford on playing without Luka Doncic, saying we got to get a little bit near perfect when it comes to the offense, but honestly, just staying the same as when he's here, taking care of business, getting good pace, getting into our offensive sets, and making sure the right guys have the ball in their hands. Obviously, that's the game plan. I mean, Daniel Gafford himself, he understands that, yeah, without Luka, we really got to be on top of our game. I mean, Luka takes 20-plus shots a game. More people are going to have to take shots. That's going to be Klay Thompson. He's going to have to hit his threes. Kyrie Irving, we already know how Kyrie looks this year, but we got to make sure that he continues the nice little start that he's had to the season. And so tomorrow on Friday, he continues to play next game of basketball. That means PJ Washington's going to have to step up. That means Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, even Jaden Hardy, all of our guys, our bigs, Daniel Gafford, Derrick Lively. Every single player that touches the hard floor tomorrow is going to have to do their absolute best. Dang near perfect. And if the reports are true that Nikola Jokic may not play tomorrow, I think the Dallas Mavericks have a much better chance of beating the Denver Nuggets. And with that being out the way, maybe the next few games come a little bit easier. The guys get a little more confidence. Like I've been saying, create good habits, work on them, build upon them. So when you play better teams, those habits help you play better. And if we take a look right here, here's the report that no Nikola Jokic at today's practice. Grant Afseth tweeted out saying Nikola Jokic has missed the past 3 games due to personal reasons. As V. Benedito reports, he didn't practice before Friday's matchup between the Dallas Mavericks and the Denver Nuggets. Jokic has been out for some time. They say it's personal matters, personal reasons. I have heard, and take it with a grain of salt, because I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I heard he had a child. Now, not sure if that's a reason why he's going to miss significant time, unless he's, we know Jokic just plays basketball part-time. He cares more about his horses, and if he does have a kid, he probably cares more about his kid, but that's just what I'm hearing. I'm not saying that's true. That could be one of many different personal reasons why he could be out. And I truly believe if Jokic doesn't play and Luka Doncic doesn't play, the Mavericks have a very good chance of winning. I mean, Kyrie Irving does great work without Luka. He does great work with Luka, but whenever Luka does have to miss a few games, Kyrie does a fantastic job of just picking up the pace, being that leader, getting the guys ready. Like, okay, no Luka, no problem. Let's get these things done. Even though Luka's gone, that doesn't mean that we can't go out and win. It's business as usual. We just made it to the finals. Let's act like it. Let's win some games. And if the Dallas Mavericks have to play against Nikola Jokic, and if he does show up, then okay, so be it. Maybe we have a different approach to it. I mean, we almost beat them last week. Who's to say that we can't beat them this time? And one more thing I want to show you guys. In 12 games without Luka Doncic as a Maverick, Kyrie Irving has averaged 29.4 points, 6.6 assists, and 5 rebounds. Dallas has gone 8-4 in those games. I wrote about how Irving will help set the tone without Doncic and the importance of countering doubles. Kyrie Irving set the lead Mavericks road trip with Luka Doncic sidelined. And I think it's going to be okay. I mean, if history is going to be our greatest teacher, it shows us that Kyrie Irving does a great job when it's time to step up. A lot of people forget that Kyrie Irving is, people think that he's old. People think Kyrie Irving's past his prime. He ain't got it no more. The fact of the matter is, Kyrie Irving does a great job playing alongside greater talent. I mean, he did it with LeBron James in Cleveland. He did it with James Harden and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. And now in Dallas, it's a no-brainer for him. But don't you ever forget that when he needs to, Kyrie Irving can step up. He can definitely play above himself and help the team win games. We saw it just the other day against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and although they were missing quite a few players themselves, Kyrie Irving still got it done. I remember last season against the Golden State Warriors towards the end of the season, we didn't have Luka. We didn't have a lot of players. We had a skeleton crew, and Kyrie Irving still got it done. So with Luka being out for a good bit of time, maybe not as long as people think, but getting much needed rest that I know he deserves. He doesn't take a lot of time off from basketball. This might be a way to force him to take time off. Will benefit the Dallas Mavericks. We get to see how we look like without Luka in case down the road, God forbid, he has to miss more time. The guys need to learn how to play winning basketball with Luka and without Luka. So for whatever reason, if we're in a very clutch moment, Game 7 of finals, if Luka's out, this team needs to know how to win games still. You never want to have a team that relies too heavily on their star player because things fall apart when that star player is not there. And lastly, the one last thing I promise I want to show you guys is this right here. Luka Doncic, keyword is sprain, indicating the injury occurred to one of many ligaments in the wrist. There is a high degree of variability in these type of injuries. However, the average time lost for nondescript in-season wrist sprains is 5.9 days, roughly 2 games. And it's going to be a little bit more than 2 games just because of how compact our schedule is coming up. But if this is any indicator, if this, as well as what I'm being told by people close to the situation, if all of this that I'm telling you guys can help put you at ease, then so be it, because I truly believe we're going to be okay. It's not as bad as people think. The sky's not falling. The Dallas Mavericks are in a very good situation, although our record would say otherwise. Things are going to be okay. We have a big game tomorrow against the Denver Nuggets. We don't have Luka. They may not have Nikola Jokic. We got to be prepared for the worst and expect the best. But that's what I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far to the video. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think we're totally lost without Luka? Or do you think we're going to be fine with Kyrie manning the ship? Let me know down in the comment section. We can have a talk about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far to the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway every single month on this channel. The only way to enter our giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. But until next time, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.